This is the most authentic ragù alla bolognese recipe there is out there, and it was filed by the municipality of the city of Bologna, so you got no excuse to make shitty ass bolognese sauce, babe. The authentic ragù bolognese starts with the holy Italian trinity, the Italian soffritto: celery, onions and carrots. We need to mince them all very finely. I don't want to see any carrot bits in the end result. It screams lazy and we don't want that. I bet you didn't know that a ragù can judge you, but yes it can, baby. It surely can. The most boring one to cut is the carrot, because it's the one that has less water intake. No, wait, intake? Vabbè, è quella che c'ha meno acqua dentro, no? So basically, it's gonna be harder to mince finely. That's why I'm gonna judge you if I see big pieces in it, because it's gonna take a little longer. But just do it. Pop your fucking headphones on. Listen to your podcast, listen to your music, to your audiobook, I don't care. Just take the time. The onion and the celery you're gonna do in like 2 minutes because they're like 90% water, so it's super easy to make. You don't see me right now, but I'm literally walking around my home because I can't find my headphones. Why am I like this? They were in a drawer. How the fuck would have I found them without the Find My app? Impossible. Let's get to work, baby. Now that we have the holy Italian trinity, we're going to sauté the pancetta. This is what we need: pancetta o pancetta arrotolata. I will write the difference in the caption or in the bio. What is it on YouTube? Anyways, let's fry the pancetta, babe. Oh, and also, I know this is super random, but the recipe deposited by the Comune di Bologna disclaims that you have to use a wooden spoon. That's how specific we are, babe. Oh, and also we need to add a few drizzle of olive oil. Hear the sizzle. A burned soffritto is hell, because you have to do everything from the beginning. I mean, can you imagine chopping those carrots again? Now that a few moments have gone by, we're going to add the meat and we'll let it sizzle for 10 minutes. Do you see how beautiful and dry the meat got? It started to sizzle, so we're going to add the white wine. If you legally can, you should always taste the wine first. Here it goes. Now we let it simmer until you won't smell the alcohol anymore. If this is the first time you're doing this, go and smell the pot now. You can feel a very acidic taste almost, because you feel it here, and that's what we don't want, because if you don't let it evaporate well enough, this acidity is going to show up in the end result. You will have wasted 3-4 hours of cooking for nothing. Wait until the wine is fully evaporated and then we can move on with the next steps. Also, I noticed that I didn't mince the pancetta, which is a mistake. On my behalf, it's a mistake. You should, but I forgot. Will this ruin the recipe? Of course not. Also because this is very thin pancetta. This is very thin pancetta, how I cut it. So in the end, it's gonna melt. You won't even see it or taste it. But you know, even the Italians fuck up sometimes. Okay, now that the alcohol has evaporated, we're going to add the tomato puree. Now that I've added the concentrato di pomodoro, I'm going to add passata di pomodoro. Just about 200 grams of it, so half of this jar. But I'm gonna use it all. I'm such a rebel! You should never waste the tomato in the jar. So just pour some water inside. Mix it well. And in the pan it goes. We are going to cover the ragu with water because this will cook for 4 hours. Since this is a long cooking recipe, I need you to buy a fatty minced meat, because if you buy a lean meat, it's gonna turn up so dry and honestly horrible. I'm gonna see you in like 1.5 hours because we're gonna have to add a special ingredient here. A crucial step for the authentic ragù bolognese depositato dalla Camera di Commercio di Bologna is the milk. Yes, the milk. And look, there's a historical and scientific reason for it. So let me break it down to you. Basically, back in the days, ragù was made with old cow's meat that was a bit tougher, hard. So they would add a glass of milk so that the end consistency would be softer. Nowadays we don't have this type of problems, but we kept it, I think, both for historical reasons, but also because I believe it gives a bit more to the ragu. I don't know how to say, but it just makes a little difference, you know? It's been 1.5 hours. The water is basically completely evaporated. I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna add the milk, and then I'm going to cover it back with the water and let it cook for another 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. The more, the better. A fun fact is that actually my first boyfriend was obsessed with ragu, so I learned to make a good ragu with him because my mom, she's Swiss, so I don't really love her ragu. She puts like rosemary in it, and we used to leave the ragu on the stove for like 5 hours. It was insane, but it was so good. And also, ragu is never to be eaten with spaghetti, but only with tagliatelle. And I'm not saying this just because of tradition, but also because of taste. Like, the difference is astronomical. And of course, this is the recipe for lasagna as well, which is something I will post very soon, so stay tuned. Truly, I think one of the best ragus I've ever made. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you for ragu. Thank you so much.